Tomorrow, of course, is the final presidential debate. We've heard from many voters who say they want to hear more about policies, not so much on the personal attacks. Do you really, though? The Huffington Post actually did a survey, and they asked people to describe candidates in one word. Here's a look at the top words to describe Hillary Clinton from that poll: liar, dishonest, crooked or crook. And then Donald Trump's words: arrogant, racist, and I won't say the last one, but we can all figure out what it is with a couple of asterisks there. Judy, when you see that and you see the way that people are voluntarily describing candidates, and yet if they are potentially looking at personality over policy, what does that tell you they might be looking for?
Well, Erica, we know from research and experience that people do vote more with their emotions. Even though they want to understand the issues, overwhelmingly what motivates people to actually take the time and go to the polls is their feelings about somebody, is their feelings about somebody's character, and how much that personality resonates with their own or is something that they might aspire to themselves. So here we have two candidates who largely have very negative descriptions put to them by the voters, but people are trying to pick, well, what is the lesser evil? And I think what really works against Hillary here is that she is seen as this measured, knowledgeable person. Those are actually her assets, but that also contributes to people not trusting her, feeling like she has something to hide. Whereas Donald Trump, people believe that what you see is what you get. So even though he's kind of arrogant, he's brash, and people perceive him as real, and people want to believe that they're going to be working with a real candidate and a president.
Judy, we should point out this is a little bit different. Voting on personality in some ways can be different than we hear talk a lot about, does so-and-so have the temperament to be president? And both candidates, frankly, bring it up. Do you think that people look at temperament and personality differently, Judy?
I do, and I think that because we have a male and a female candidate, we're also looking at some different things and perceptions of those things. So, for example, things that people are drawn to in terms of personality traits of male leaders, things like being a visionary, being a very effective decision maker. These things are oftentimes turnoffs when you look at a female leader. For whatever reason, when female leaders embody some of those same qualities, people see them as being too pointed, that they should be a little softer in their presentation. It's really interesting to hear that to this day, even in 2016, we still have those disparities in terms of what we want in our leaders when they're male or female. And I think that that has a big part to say in terms of what people think about their personality
traits. Is also
traits.
part of it, though, what we think we're supposed to say when we say what we want? I mean, look, this goes back to the, oh, I only listen to public radio, or I only watch public television, or I don't watch TV, you know, and then you're watching a reality show marathon. And there's nothing wrong with that. But is it also that people sort of feel they need to project a certain decision when it comes to voting?
Absolutely, Erica. When you look at these voter polls, the reason why they don't actually track so much to real behaviors is because people have an incentive to present themselves in a better way. They have an incentive to present themselves in a little bit more of a positive light in terms of what they believe other people want to see in them. And so it's hard when we look at that because people are going to say, yes, I'm going to vote on the issues. Yes, I'm going to, read about all of the different issues that both of them are going to be standing for and then vote accordingly. What we know for sure is that people go on a whim based on their emotions, based on their draw to that candidate. And that's why personality is so important here.
And that's a lot of what surprised, a lot of people during that primary campaign season as well, as we saw some of the results in a number of states. Alex Burns, Judy Ho, appreciate you both being with us today. A fun discussion, and probably not the last time we'll talk about how people vote.